was terrible. I lost I was a really good trader up to then. I was doing very, very well. And then within 2 or 3 months, everything plus more, gone.
A catastrophic blunder of losing each and everything of his or her own in this market. What is the revival strategy of that person?
So 80% of traders will lose their entire bet in the first year.
Hello, dear fellas. This is one and only yours, Fahad Islam Khokar, the fiberologist, and I welcome you all to Side Hustle. Our today's guest is extremely special because he's going to talk about the subject which I have not discussed much on my YouTube channel. It's cryptocurrency, it's crypto trading. Mr. Ronal is a crypto expert, he's a coach, he's a mentor, and he is an author. Everybody, please welcome Mr. Ronal. Ronal, how are you?
Yeah, very well. How are you today, Fahad?
I'm doing fine. Ronal, I know a lot about you, but my audience would like to know who is actually Ronal.
Sure. So, as you said, I'm currently a trading coach. I work with traders to make their trading move to the next level. Prior to coaching, I was actually a trader myself. I worked in investment companies and banks for over a decade. And so I learned best practices for them, and I taught many traders when I was there. We were really working back then in derivatives, in real estate, in new assets. Now, as you say, I work with all assets, including crypto. So many of my clients now are in crypto.
That's great. That's great. But there are so many other business ventures that you could have chosen. What actually motivated you to get into this after all that career of banking for a decade? What actually motivated you to become a trader?
Yeah, so what motivated me to become somebody who works for myself as opposed to a corporate? As with most entrepreneurs, it's about freedom, it's about independence. And the ability to make the kind of impact that you want. When you're in a corporate, you have to do things often in the way that they want. If you have your own vision of what you want to create in the world, of what you want to produce and share with the world, having your own business is kind of unparalleled. So that was really the reason why I went independent. I did, like many people, start off as a side hustle, hence this channel. So I was working Monday to Friday in the corporate, and then on weekends, starting to work with people to improve their training. And then when I left, then I made it a full-time thing. But it really is that idea of mission, really. It might be sounding like a grand word, but when you have a clear idea of what you want to do in the world, and you want to do it with the freedom and independence that having your own business has, that was really a critical part of making this decision to go out by myself.
Okay, so the major motive was to go independent. But my perception about crypto trading or any sort of trading, whether that is stock or forex, whatever it is, I presume it as a passive stream of income. But if you have taken it as a full-time career, do you really believe that this could be taken as an active stream of income for a person?
Yeah, so with trading, there are lots of different ways, lots of different styles of trading. So,
okay,
if you want to be more passive, if you want to be more passive about things, that tends to be more, let's say, you tend to call yourself more an investor. So you buy stocks or a basket of crypto or Bitcoin or whatever, but you buy it and you hold it. And the idea is that you have a fundamental belief that whatever it is going to be going up over the long term. If it's a stock that pays a dividend, or if it's a corporate bond that pays a coupon, then you'll get the income along the way. But the idea is that you're doing it for an investment, for a long-term situation. Trading differs from investing, that it's much more about the short term. You're talking about minutes, days, maybe weeks, but you're much shorter term, and you're much more looking at what are the short term movements and how can you profit of those, which is a very different thing from investing. So with myself and with the people I work with, they are much more in the trading space. They're looking to make profits from shorter term movements. They're looking to actively manage the income they're getting rather than sort of putting it away and then coming back and checking every now and again to see how they're doing.
Great. So there are different ways of doing trading. That's what you have said. And you are a coach, right? What actually motivated you to become a coach? You have the skill. You should have kept this to yourself. But why are you teaching this to others? Because most of the time, people always try to keep their knowledge to themselves. Why are you spreading this?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I think it comes back to what I said before. Why I wanted to come out by myself is a sense of mission. So actually, in my corporate career, I did pretty well. Actually, to be honest, I got to a stage where I had got myself into quite a bit of comfort. I got to a point in my career where I had achieved certain levels of income, yes, but also of status, of position. So I ticked a lot of things off. And what you find is that you get to a point, and at those moments of success, they're great, but they're quite fleeting. And you start to, as you get to certain levels, start to think about the bigger picture. What is it that I want to do on a grander scale? What do I actually want to do in my life? And that was the motivation to become independent. And that's why I coach people. I want to, so for me, the phrase I use is raising consciousness. This is my idea of what I want to do in my life. And when I'm working with traders, I do work with some startup entrepreneurs and some business leaders as well, but trading is the main thing. When you're working with such people who are usually very driven, very focused, yes, of course, they want to make money, they want to be free, independent, but of course, but at the same time, they usually have grander goals than that. They want to do something with their life. They want to get to a point where they are making an impact bigger than they are. And for me to be able to support people to do that, to coach people to do that, to make them better, that's really important. Also, just as a practicality, there are so many different types of trading, like not just the two that I said, investing versus trading, but even within trading, there are so many different styles that what I do for my trading will be very, very different from what many people do, will be very different from what many of our clients do. So there's actually maybe not that much overlap in the style of trading that we're doing. So what I'm doing is helping their mindset to become better at trading in their style, even if their style is completely different from my style.
Okay. You are in crypto trading, right? Mainly.
Crypto, but and currency actually. But these are two very liquid. So I mean, some people say crypto is part of currency because it's
Okay.
finance. But yeah.
Okay. My next question is exactly related to what you have just said. That your style of trading is a bit different from what most of the conventional and orthodox traders are doing. A general perception about trading, whether it is forex, crypto, or stock exchanges, that it is a quick rich scheme. Okay, I don't know about your side in London, but in South Asia, it is a general perception that it is an easy way to become rich. It could result in overnight success, and we have heard so many stories like this. So, would you like to clarify this point for me?
Yeah. I mean, it absolutely is, and it's pure luck.
Pure luck.
People want to become. If you want to become very successful overnight, it's pure luck. Not in general. In general. So I have to clarify. So there'll be you always have your distribution in everything. You'll have 100 traders, and say one or two become an overnight success, and those are the ones you're going to hear. Those are the ones who are in the media. Those are the ones and then they're going to come up with some theory. It's because I sat in a certain way. I made a certain movement with my hand. They'll come up with some reason why they became.
Yeah.
And I've seen that. I've seen that. People in the early days of crypto who they just went, this is going to be it, and they bet everything. They bet their bonus. They put everything into crypto, and it worked. And they went from being like a 25-year-old person in their first job to being a millionaire within a couple of months, a UK millionaire within a couple of months, and then they're off. They're very happy. Great, wonderful for them. But then other people will see that, try and replicate it, and it just won't happen because they weren't lucky with the timing. They weren't, everything is there. So for the extreme cases, for the ones that you see in the headlines, it makes good news. The reason it makes nobody wants to hear, oh, this person, they made, 10% a year and then they steadily traded for 10 years and became rich. Nobody wants to hear that. They want to hear, oh, this guy or this girl, she went hard, she took a risk and it's a nice story. So that's why it makes it there. But 80% of traders fail in their first year. 80%.
Yeah, because of the mindset. Because of this quick rich mindset, this microwave mentality of cooking, of warming the food in 2 minutes, I call this microwave mentality. They always want to get rich quick. But there are two specific elements that are involved in trading, which is luck and risk. I have two different definitions for this, if you would allow me. I feel that a risk is actually lack of knowledge. If you do not have knowledge of a thing, I think that is the risk. But if you will have the pure knowledge of a certain thing, you will be doing everything strategically. You will have a backup plan for everything. That's what I associate risk with. And then there is luck. As you just said that quick rich, all the stories of quick rich are pure luck. Okay. Now, I feel that there is nothing like luck on this planet. If you could not calculate a certain thing, okay, we associate that event with luck. For example, if I have a die in my hand and if I will roll it on the board, and if I have this capability of calculating this, that what is the mass of this die, on which angle I have thrown it, and what will be the speed, what will be the angle at which it will be bounced back. If my mind could calculate all that, I think that would not be a luck. Okay, that's what I feel. So I think each and every nitty-gritty of every type of trading is predictable. Or do you feel that there are some really certain moments at which we could not predict it at all? What do you think about?
So there's a case of in perfect information, then indeed, if you know every single player, you know their trading strategy, then yes, it can be calculated where the market's going. Just like with the laws of physics with the dice. The point is that we're humans. We have bounded rationality. We have bounded processing capabilities. So in that case, with that kind of level of understanding, how can you then do the best with the information that you get? And so I'm just a bit of kind of neuroscience. It's estimated that in any moment you're getting around 400 billion bits of information, 400 billion bits of information in any given moment. However, our mind can process maybe 2,000. So there's a huge mismatch between the two. And so what we have is we have filters in the middle. So you've got the information coming in, you'll have your processing, and you have these filters. Now, those filters, you want to make them as clean as possible. And actually, that's what I think coaching is about. That's what trading psychology is, to make those filters as clean as possible to get the best information out of that 400 billion. So what happens is often, as a human, you'll have lots of rubbish going through your head. You'll have, I might miss out. You might have, I'm going to be a failure. Yeah. You might have, what's for dinner? You have all sorts of rubbish going on in your head. And, we all know this. And that's going to filter, that's going to restrict the amount of information you can get. Yeah. So what you're actually, what you want to do is maximize the amount of good information you're getting from the market in order to make the best decision you can. So often what I'm doing is working with people to, and actually in the book, it gives you a process of how to improve this, to get to a point where you can get clearer with the information that you're getting in. But I want to make one distinction that I make with my traders about risk versus luck. So if you're trading with an intention, with a strategy, with a plan, and it doesn't go your way, that's risk. If you are putting the money out there and crossing your fingers and making a prayer, that's luck. And so, and traders, they sometimes switch between the two. Yes. They sometimes think that they've got a plan, and then something happens and they go into luck mode. And this is one of the things that I find with traders. It's not quite the same definition as yours, but it's kind of a different way of classifying the two. If you've got an intention and it doesn't come your way, okay, that's a risk. But if you are just gambling, that's luck.
Yeah, and that's not only that's luck. Okay. Now, even if I personally feel that even if you have so much knowledge about this, even if you still have the entire plan, the foolproof strategy that how I'm going to enter, how I'm going to exit from the market, still, we, the Homo sapiens, we are humans, and we always take decisions on the basis of emotions. And later on, we justify all that stuff with logic. Okay, but
Absolutely.
at first place, we always take decisions on the basis of emotions. Now, your major forte is that you are an emotional manager for all those people. How do you actually manage that? What is the point that you actually hit after which they have this clear focus and they start managing their emotions? What do you do with them in coaching?
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty broad question, so I'll answer it as best I can. So there are many strategies for allowing someone to manage their emotions, but actually in the book you mentioned earlier, the Trader's Path to Inner Wisdom is the name of the book. In that we have 5 steps. Okay. And if you want, I can take you through the 5 steps, but very roughly, somebody will come to me, and the first thing, which is already hard for some traders to do, is to admit that they messed up, because there's a lot of post-rationalization. Oh, market did this; it wasn't supposed to do this, or somebody came into the room, or somebody wrote something on a Discord chat that distracted me. So first of all, taking ownership that I messed up. Yeah. That's already the first step. And it's already a difficult one for many people, for many traders. So then there's a process that you go through. So let me. I won't take you through the whole process yet. I can if you want to later. But let me give you a rough example. So one guy, he came to me. He lives in a little bit of a tough part of the world, and his particular situation is a little bit. I don't know. He didn't talk about this, but just knowing where he's from and what his situation is, I think there's a lot of stress in his situation. So anyway, so he seemed like a good trader, very intelligent. He has a nice process. So let's call him Mo. And Mo, his trading was going really well. He'd do lots of analysis. He'd enter the trade, and the price would do what he's expecting it to do. But in trading, you have something called a take profit. That's a level that you're targeting. But long before his crypto got to the take profit level, he would exit the trade. So he'd be making money, and then he'd exit early. And he kept doing this. So he came to me going, I don't know why, but I feel this strong that I have to exit early. So we went through the process. We said, okay, so what's going on here? And it turns out that he's got from long, this is a grown man. So when he was a child, he learned very early that if you have something, you really hold on to it. Because somebody might come and take it away. You don't know what's going to happen. So when he got to a point where he's halfway towards his profit, this mentality kicked in, and he got, I have to take the profit, because psychologically, subconsciously, he thinks somebody might take this thing from him. So he would do this. Now this is all subconscious. He doesn't know this consciously until we go through our process. But then when he saw this, we're like, oh, hang on, this is not real. And then we did some other sort of therapeutic processes. So he got to a point where, okay, when I was a child, maybe that was true. In certain circumstances, maybe that's true, but that's not true right now. It's not true when I'm trading. And so once we got past that, he was now able to take the trade all the way to take profit and close the trade at the right point. So that's an example of somebody who, first of all, admitted that he has some issue. And then we go through a process of finding out what is the true cause, not just I'm acting silly, but what is the real cause behind this? Let's clean this up. And by doing that, he gets to be a better trader. Emotionally, he's executing as he wants to. So that's an example of how we can deal with it.
Okay, that's great. The book is currently in the printing process, or is it available for buying?
It's available. about a week ago, it became public
Okay.
in Amazon. So
Okay.
yeah, you can click on the link.
So if guys, if there is any link of the book, I will put all that stuff in the description. You can buy that book from there. And I hope I'm really eager to know what are those 5 points that he was talking about. And he didn't actually expose all that content. He's keeping you guys hooked with us with suspense, and I'm eager to buy that and read that book as well. So, Ronald, if there is a beginner and if he wants to learn crypto trading, not about the emotional stuff, we will learn that from your book. I hope so. But if one want to get started, would you like to recommend us some resources, any books, any YouTube channels, any paid or free courses, anything from where one can learn easily?
Yeah, it's always a bit. Yeah, so there's a lot of resources on YouTube where you can learn about crypto. Crypto is already an evolving market. So with something like a currency, there's a very strong theoretical underpinning of economics where you can learn underneath how the market works, what should be the drivers. Same with stocks. Stocks, learn how to read a balance sheet or whatever. With crypto, it's very much about technicals. So that's like how the chart is moving, looking at supply, demand, volume. And that can actually be pretty well self-taught. The knowledge part takes a person who's really enthusiastic, maybe 6 months to a year to learn. So a complete beginner. So this is before they come to someone like me to learn. So looking on YouTube to just how to trade crypto, and you'll have 1,000 things there. There are, I'm a bit reluctant to trade because my who I like, of course, will change, from now to another person. So but there are courses out there. If you Google again, usually a paid trading course is a better thing. A free one will tend to be something where they say you're going to learn, you're going to pay for your trading education one way. You either pay by getting a course, you pay by getting a coach, or you pay by getting burnt in the markets. So there's going to be some sort of investment needed to learn. I would say go for a course which is paid if you can afford it, and one that has a fair number of backers behind it. Check the reviews. That's true of anything, of course. Free courses, they will tell you some stuff, but often they'll try and push you towards their software. They'll push you towards a higher paid gig, which is all fine. Nothing wrong with that. But if you're a beginner, you really want to work with an expert right from the start.
Okay, I will put my personal recommendation of a Udemy course in the description. Anybody who wants to learn from it, but you should follow Ronald's advice that first you should go for the free stuff. Just write crypto courses or Forex courses on YouTube, and you will find plenty of those. So my next question has 2 parts, Ronald, for you, and they would be a little bit tricky. This morning, I was watching a TikTok, a small video, a short, in which it was a clip of an Indian show in which they were advising their audience that you should be putting on this stock, you should be investing on this stock, you should be investing on this crypto coin, and it is going to pop up. It is currently at 147. It is expected to go up to 220. So there was a person who had invested around 50 lakh rupees. I don't know how much that becomes in euro or dollars, but you can calculate that. He has put in that. So he was asking, you said that it is going to pump, but it has gone down, the 147. Now it is on 98. So he said, you distributed your risk. You put all of the eggs in one basket. You have made this blunder. So my question is that, should we, is it a good practice to follow the signals of someone? We have many WhatsApp groups. There are many Discord communities, and in which people are actually providing paid signals. Is it a good practice? Is it a good practice to follow all those signals? Is it a good practice, or should we be focusing on our own instinct?
So the way to see external signals is as something that adds to your own process. It really, and this is quite hard for people who want to get rich quickly. There is a point where you just have to learn for yourself, learn how to read the market. You have to really know. So when somebody else comes in with an idea, if they're a good salesman, a good marketer, they're always going to sound really confident, and they're going to come up with lots of. You need to be able to wash through all that and just say, look, okay, I see what the actual truth of what is your hypothesis, and I want to then take that information and absorb it into my own process. By having your own core process, what works for you is really critical. So learning what works for you. So I said, find the right resources, find the kind of trading that suits you, get a simulator and practice with a simulator the process of trading.
Or do the paper trading
do that for. But yeah, paper. Yeah, so it used to be called paper trading because it was on paper, but now it's simulator. But yeah, same thing. So
is there any simulator? Is there any simulator for crypto as well? Because I have seen for Forex, but I have not seen for crypto trading. Is there any for crypto as well? Simulator?
I think. Yeah, I'm going to give you a link after, but yeah, I think so. I think most of the platforms they have paper trading. So when I say simulator, it is paper trading. So you're trading in the real live market, but just not putting real money in. So yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty sure MT4 does it. But anyway, I'll give you some names. But the idea is that, and this is very hard. Again, like I say, it's urge at the beginning is I want to make money like now, and that's exactly the most dangerous point. So building up your own understanding, your own way of looking at the market is absolutely critical. And then these other signals, you can filter them. You can go, well, is this my style? Maybe this works for him because he's a certain type of trader, or it works for her because she has a certain way of trading. But that doesn't actually suit my way of trading. It's not how I look at the market. So it won't be compatible with mine. And actually, even at that point, psychology is already coming in at that point. So I'll give you another client I have. I'll call him Fred. So I don't use people's real name, of course, because client confidentiality. But Fred. So he was with me, and he had this thing where he was a very diligent trader. He was not impetuous. He would take time to do the analysis. He would get a good, clear thesis why he's entering the market. He would then be just about ready to do it, and then he'd go on a Discord server or a Telegram chat or something, and find people saying the opposite, people saying no, this and that, and then he wouldn't enter the trade, and he undermines his own analysis by taking other people's word, and because they sounded like they had more experience and this, he would undermine his own process. And so with him, we had to find out what is going on. And basically, he I mean, it's respectful, but basically he put too much respect on the authority, basically. So if someone sounds like an authority, he would do that. And it turns out that he was often much better because his style was not the same as these other people's style. And so what he would do, initially, we said, okay, we'll shut everything down. You just trade on your own signal. And then after a time, we started allowing him to gently reintroduce other people's information to either confirm or back his own views, to make him think from a different angle. And he gently reintroduced this. So by the time he was back to listening to all these Discord servers and Telegram chats, he was at a point where he could absorb it into his own process. So again, it's there's knowing what to do, and then there's a psychology of kind of having belief in your own process, and that's again, psychology comes into that. But yeah, so this stuff is very valuable, but it needs to be seen through a certain lens.
Okay, but the second part of my question was that if one has committed this blunder, a catastrophic blunder of losing each and everything of his or her own in this market, what is the revival strategy of that person? How would you revive that person? Because I've seen many people doing that.
Oh yeah. Like say 80% of traders will lose their entire bet in the first year, and you know, I did it myself. I'm a professional trader, and you know, so not now, but in the great financial crash, which is maybe some of your viewers were children back then, but in 2008.
Very bad crash. Oh.
Yeah, it was terrible. I was a really good trader up to then. I was doing very, very well, and then within 2 or 3 months, everything plus more gone. And that was a big number. So what I learned first of all, just stay low and go for maybe a more traditional business or traditional way of earning money and start just rebuilding. But then this is why I got into the psychology, because I realized that when things started going crazy, I started acting very stupid. I started doing very, very silly things. So I got into the psychology at that point, started working with coaches and started improving my psychology so that when we then have shakes later on, I was ready. I could, okay, it might look terrible, but let's stay calm. Let's take some risk off and be much more sensible about it. So that's why I said you're always going to pay for your trading education. You're either going to do a course, you're going to see a coach, or you're going to learn from the market. One of them is going to teach you. It's a shame that I feel very sorry. I'm very sorry for your friends who went through this pain. But it really is a case of, at that point, you realize that bringing the appropriate strategy, bringing the appropriate psychology is critical, actually.
I having that quote of Warren Buffett in my mind. His first rule of trading is that never lose the money. So I would suggest everyone who is entering in this world, go small, and whenever inch by inch, everything is a cinch. Whenever you will go small, you will be at the minimum risk. So, how people could reach you? Do you have any YouTube channel, any Facebook page, any Instagram, or any website? How people could reach you?
The easiest way to get all of my contacts is my personal webpage, ronalshah.com. That's got a link to my LinkedIn, a link to my coaching, a link to my speaking, a link to my book. So all of those are available through ronalshah.com.
Okay, Ronal, I would like you to give us one final nugget of awesomeness. What is your advice to my audience, the South Asians, the third world countries, how we can become like you? Anybody who is striving at this moment, who want to enter in this field of entrepreneurship, what would be your advice to those people?
Many people all over the world, I'm sure, especially in Asia, we have this idea that we've got to split our kind of what morning and afternoon is about commerce, and then evening and weekend is about personal development and spiritual and psychology, all this kind of stuff. We tend to split these things because we think they're different parts of our life. In the West, you go to work Monday to Friday, you go to church on Sunday, this kind of thing. So what I would say is, if you combine the two, you can really be the most fulfilled. If you approach your business from a sense of higher consciousness, I don't talk about spiritual or religious, it can be, but I'm just saying from a sense of, what are you here for? What do you want to do with your life? If you approach your business, your trading, your entrepreneurship from what do you want to do ultimately with your life, then both things can go in the same direction. Your business and your personal growth and everything can and will move in the same direction and actually reinforce each other and make you a success on the outside and also a success on the inside.
That's great. One should always work on oneself, try to get the private victory. First, prove yourself that you could do something. Then people will start saying that you actually could do something. Ronal, thank you so much for being with us. It was nice talking to you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.